Hello, amazing students. Welcome to English with Sophie. You say one sentence. In a meeting, the room goes quiet, not because you're wrong, but because nobody's quite sure what you meant. Then someone else says almost the same thing, using nearly identical words, and everyone nods. They listen. They understand instantly. What just happened? This has nothing to do with your intelligence or your vocabulary. It's not about accent or confidence. It's about parts of speech. And here's the truth most English learners never hear. You're probably misusing one word class right now without even knowing it. That's what's holding you back. Let me show you what I mean. Hello, lovely students. Welcome to English with Sophie, and I teach advanced English to learners who already speak well but want to sound natural, confident, and in control. I've worked with doctors, engineers, and business professionals who passed every English exam but still felt invisible in conversations. Here's what I discovered. Even fluent speakers fail at this. They know the grammar rules. They have strong vocabularies. But they don't understand how parts of speech actually work in real English. And that's the difference between being understood and being respected. So let me expose the first lie you were probably taught about parts of speech. You were taught there are 8 or 9 parts of speech, right? Nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, and maybe determiners. That's not wrong. But here's the problem. Knowing the names doesn't help you. The issue isn't how many parts of speech exist. The issue is how you use them. Most learners think parts of speech are just labels, like tags on words in a dictionary. But in real communication, parts of speech are power tools. They control meaning. They shape how people react to you. And if you misuse them, even slightly, people notice. Let's start with nouns, the most abused word class in English. You learned that nouns are names of people, places, or things. That's true, but it's not useful. Here's what you really need to know. Nouns are power holders. In any sentence, the noun controls the focus. It tells listeners what or who matters. Compare these. The mistake happened versus I made a mistake. Same event, different nouns. In the first, the mistake has power. In the second, I have power. This is why politicians say mistakes were made instead of I made mistakes. They shift the noun to avoid responsibility. Who controls the noun controls the meaning, and verbs decide who's in charge. Verbs don't just show action. They show agency, control, and responsibility. Look at these 2 sentences. The report was completed versus I completed the report. Both are correct, but one sounds weak and one sounds confident. The first uses passive voice. The verb hides who did the action. The second uses active voice. The verb shows I did it. Advanced speakers choose verbs carefully. Passive voice when they want to soften blame. Active voice when they want to claim success. This is why your verb choices change how confident you sound. Now let's see how adjectives quietly manipulate meaning. Adjectives don't just describe, they judge. Think about this. 2 employees arrive late. You say, John is late again and poor Sarah is late again. Same situation, same noun, different adjective. One sounds like criticism, one sounds like sympathy. That's bias built into one word. Native speakers do this automatically. They add adjectives that shape how listeners feel before they even finish the sentence. Talented employee, difficult employee, same person, different judgment. You think you're being objective, but adjectives reveal your opinion. And here's the truth. Adverbs are even more dangerous. Overusing adverbs makes you sound unsure. Listen to this. I really think we should probably try to possibly change this. Every adverb weakens the message. Now compare. We should change this. Stronger, clearer, confident. Advanced speakers know this rule. Strong verbs don't need adverbs. Weak verbs attract adverbs. Instead of walked slowly, say strolled. Instead of said quietly, say whispered. When you remove unnecessary adverbs, your English sounds powerful. But here's the question. If you remove adverbs, what do you use instead? Precision. Let me show you with prepositions, the silent fluency test. Native speakers judge your fluency by your prepositions. You can have perfect grammar and strong vocabulary, but one wrong preposition destroys credibility. I'm good in English versus I'm good at English. One tiny word, massive difference. Native speakers notice immediately. Prepositions seem random, but they follow patterns. Interested in, good at, depend on, afraid of. These combinations are fixed in English. You can't logic your way through them. You have to learn them. And when you get them right, you sound natural. When you get them wrong, even if everything else is perfect, people notice. Conjunctions decide who gets heard. Conjunctions control rhythm and logic in sentences. Beginners repeat the same ones, but because, listen to this. I like English and I study every day and I watch videos and I practice speaking. It sounds childish. Now listen. I like English, so I study daily. I watch videos and practice speaking to improve. Same ideas. Different conjunctions, totally different feeling. Advanced speakers vary their conjunctions, however, although, therefore, nevertheless, whereas. This doesn't just sound better, it shows logical thinking. It proves you can connect ideas smoothly. And guess what? Pronouns are where favoritism shows up clearly. Pronouns signal distance, closeness, and respect, even when grammar is correct. Compare these. We should work together versus you should work with us. Same meaning, but the first includes everyone. The second creates separation. Politicians use we to sound united. Managers use you to create distance. Then there's the respect issue. In emails, you can sound direct or rude depending on context. Could you send this? Sounds fine. You need to send this sounds demanding. Native speakers adjust pronouns automatically based on relationships. Get it wrong, and you sound rude, even with perfect grammar. Determiners are the quiet authority words. Determiners like a, the, this, that, some, and any change the seriousness of your sentence. Compare. I have a problem versus I have the problem versus I have this problem. Each feels different. A problem sounds small. The problem sounds official. This problem sounds urgent. Advanced speakers choose determiners deliberately. They know the implies everyone knows what you're referring to. Introduces something new. Using the wrong one confuses listeners. They won't correct you, but they'll hesitate. And that hesitation costs you credibility. Interjections look small, but they're dangerous. Interjections shape emotional tone instantly. Words like oh, wow, well seem harmless, but overuse them and you sound childish or uncertain. So like I think maybe we could try this? You lose respect immediately. Compare, let's try this approach. Controlled, professional, confident. Native speakers use interjections strategically. Shows you're thinking. Well signals a shift in opinion. Oh shows surprise. Used correctly, they add natural rhythm. Overused, they destroy credibility. But here's the twist nobody teaches you. Parts of speech aren't fixed. One word can change class completely. This is where advanced fluency actually begins. Look at the word run. It can be a noun. I went for a run. It can be a verb. I run every morning. It can even be an adjective in some contexts. A rundown building. Same word, different function. English is full of these. Light can be a noun, verb, or adjective. Book is a noun and a verb. Fast is an adjective and an adverb. Beginners see words as fixed. Advanced speakers see words as flexible. They understand that function, not form, determines the part of speech. And this is exactly where exams trap you. Exams don't test vocabulary, they test word function. Look at this question. Identify the noun in this sentence. She gave me sound advice. Most learners choose advice. That's correct. But then the next question, identify the adjective in the sound was loud. Now sound is a noun, same word, different part of speech. Exam writers love this. They test whether you understand function in context. Most wrong answers come from misidentifying parts of speech. You know the word. You just don't know its job in that specific sentence. But here's the truth. Real life is harsher than exams. In real conversations, listeners judge your competence subconsciously. They don't stop and think, that person used the wrong part of speech. They just feel something's off. You said interested in instead of interested about, and suddenly you sound less educated. You used 5 adverbs in one sentence, and suddenly you sound unsure. You misused a determiner, and your meaning becomes unclear. Here's what happens. Correct word class equals respect and attention. Wrong word class equals quiet correction or polite silence. People might not tell you, but they notice. And over time, that affects how seriously they take you. Now let's flip the power. Let me rebuild one sentence using precise parts of speech, and you'll see the difference. Weak version. I think the project kind of needs more work because there's some problems. Count the issues. Weak verb think. Vague adjective kind of. Weak noun problems. Overused conjunction because. Now watch, the project requires revision due to structural issues. Same idea. Different parts of speech. Totally different reaction. Requires is a strong verb. Revision is a specific noun. Structural issues uses precise adjectives and nouns. This is power. Same speaker, same idea, but one sounds uncertain and one sounds expert. You think the lesson is ending. It's not. Let's do a quick recap. Nouns control focus. Verbs show agency. Adjectives reveal bias. Adverbs weaken confidence. Prepositions signal fluency. Conjunctions control flow. Pronouns show relationships. Determiners add authority. Interjections shape tone. And words change function based on context. That's everything, right? Not quite. Because I haven't told you about the most important part yet. There's one category of words that controls meaning more than all the others. Native speakers use them automatically. Learners ignore them completely. And they're hiding in every sentence you speak. I'm talking about function words. Function words are small words that don't carry meaning on their own but control how sentences work. Words like the, is, at, in, to, for, of, with. You barely notice them, but remove them and sentences collapse. Compare. I'm going to the store versus I'm going store. One works, one doesn't. Native fluency lives in function words. Advanced speakers choose them precisely. I'm interested in this versus I'm interested by this. One tiny function word changes everything. This is the final layer of mastery. And once you control function words, you control English. Let me show you the transformation. Same speaker, same vocabulary, but totally different parts of speech usage. Before, I was thinking we could maybe look at trying to do something about improving the system because it's kind of not working very well. After, we need to improve the system, it's failing. Same person, same idea. One uses weak verbs, unnecessary adverbs, vague nouns, and hesitant conjunctions. The other uses strong verbs, precise nouns, and confident structure. Which person gets promoted? Which one gets ignored? The difference isn't intelligence. It's not vocabulary. It's parts of speech. It's knowing which word does which job and choosing deliberately. Now here's the final truth. Fluency isn't about learning more words. It's about placing power in the right part of speech. You don't need a bigger vocabulary. You need precision. You need to know when a noun is stronger than a verb, when an adjective weakens your point, when an adverb makes you sound uncertain, when a preposition breaks fluency, and when a function word controls everything. Master this, and you don't just speak English. You control it. People listen differently. They take you seriously. They respect your ideas. So go back through your writing, your speaking, your emails. Look at your parts of speech. Are they doing the work you want? Because now you know the truth. Now you have the power.